Great evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. I just want to thank you so much for joining the conversation, the makeup and advocacy conversation. My name is Mikaya Dion, and I am a 34-year-old sickle cell warrior, mother of 4, wife of 12 years. And today we're going to get into what I call an everyday warrior makeup look. And I'm so excited to have you joining this such an important conversation surrounded about advocacy for the sickle cell patients in our community. So if you're a caregiver, a warrior, or even someone that just supports our sickle cell community, I'm so glad to have you. Let's welcome our first guest.
Hey everybody.
Hi there. Tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello everyone. I am Shamanica Wiggins. I am a 31-year-old sickle cell warrior, patient advocate. I do patient advocacy, sickle cell advocacy full time. It's literally my life these days. I'm also a mother, and I'm really happy to be here.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining, Shamanica. So glad to have you. Let's bring on our next guest. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Tell us who you are.
I am Jessica. I am a caregiver of the lovely Sharonda. I am 40 years old with 3 boys, and I also assist wherever I can with the consortium.
Awesome. We're so glad to have you, Jessica. Thank you so much.
I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited as well. I'm going to bring up our next participant. Let's see who she is. Hello.
Welcome. Thank you. I am Dr. Lakia Bailey. I am one of the founders and the executive director of the Sickle Cell Consortium. I'm also an SS warrior. I know absolutely nothing about makeup, so I'm excited to be here to start learning.
Awesome. Well, good thing that this is a girls conversation. We're all going to be comfortable and we're going to get right into it. This is like I said, this is an everyday warrior look. So I'm excited. Let's get right on into it. All right. So we're going to make sure that you have all of your products. So we're going to start off, of course, with our eyebrow pencils. Going to make sure you have your concealer. We have our foundation. Yes, concealer, foundation. Also going to need your contour palette.
You gotta show me. What's the contour palette look like?
The contour palette looks like this.
Okay. So maybe something like this.
Yes. Is that eyeshadow? That might be eyeshadow.
Okay.
It's okay, but you can totally use eyeshadow for contour.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so you're also going to need your setting powder. You're also going to need your lashes or mascara.
I don't have that.
Got lashes, got mascara. And then we're also going to need your warrior themed lipstick. And that's any shade of burgundy. All right. I'm so excited. Y'all, let's get into it. So I want to quickly make sure everybody has their products. So I want to make sure that you have first your eyebrow pencils. Got your eyebrow pencils, eyebrow products. Then we want to make sure you have your concealer. And then your foundation, your contour palette as well, your lashes or mascara. Yes. And then your setting powder and your warrior themed color lipstick, which is a shade of burgundy. All right. Well, let's get started. We got all our products. And once again, this is a very simple everyday. I call this my everyday warrior look. You know, look like somebody, not like what I've been through. Hello.
Right.
I'm
All
telling
right.
you.
Yes. So we're gonna get started with our brows. I like to start there first because that just kind of helps to frame our face.
I'm gonna put my hair away. Give me a sec. Get it out my
Perfect.
face.
Perfect. You know, I don't have those issues, so I can't relate. No.
My head, my
Exactly.
head giving me a headache, but I had to have it pulled back too.
Yes.
There we go.
So the eyebrow pencil that I have is double ended, so it has a fully on one end and then the pencil on the other. So if you don't have that particular one or one like it, you can just find like a a brow brush or like a disposable mascara spoolie to just brush your brows up. So that's what we're gonna start doing. We're going to start by drawing a line. We're going to just kind of trace underneath using very light pressure with your pencil. Just think of like very feather light strokes, okay? So we're going to start off by just tracing underneath the brow and just following that natural arch. So if you don't have a brow pencil, that's still fine. So you can take like a liner brush. I think you had a liner brush that you showed me before. It's like a flat brush.
No.
Okay, so let's try that one.
Okay.
And you can use like a brown shade eyeshadow. So like a chocolate eyeshadow if you have a brown. I always suggest you use brown for your brows, not black, because it can be really, really harsh.
Okay.
Yeah, the black make you look really surprised.
Yes, really surprised and like you filled it in with a Sharpie or something. I don't know. We're going to finish the first one first. All right, so we have that line underneath. And then I'm going to start about halfway on the top and just trace on the top. All right, so now that we have our two lines, we're just going to fill in between those two lines. I promise you, this is the hardest part about the brows are always the most challenging and take the most time.
I've heard people say that your brows are sisters, not twins. So it's okay if they're not alike. I've heard that before.
Very true.
Dr. Bailey, your brows is like the hardest part, just like advocacy, like planning the event tends to be the hardest part.
Listen,
typically when it's the day of, it's easier, but getting to that point is the hardest part.
You're right. I love that analogy. Okay.
Yes, it's looking so much better. It looks great. Look at you.
You say
She's gonna be all gone next week.
Listen, if I can learn, I sure will, because I never wear it, and it's because I don't know how.
You too.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna lightly fill in the front of that brow. And so when you're filling in the front, you're gonna use the up and down motion like this with your brush or pencil. Instead of side to side, you're gonna do up and down towards in the front.
Okay.
So we're trying to mimic hair there. Uh-oh. Everybody went away.
No, we're here.
Okay.
She's just featuring you in certain points so that everybody can see you well.
Okay, cool. Tell me something. All right. So now we got our first brow. Now we can move on and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. So once you got the brows filled in, we're going to move on to concealer. And concealer is going to actually further help to define the shape of your brows as well. So I actually have my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. Well, I generally suggest that you choose a concealer that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone, just for highlighting purposes. Because usually when you're using concealer, you want to conceal dark spots or add light to places that aren't so pleasant. So you want to give the illusion that it's lighter than what it really is. So that's why I always suggest 1 to 2 shades lighter. If you don't have concealer, do you have a lighter color foundation? Oh, you have powder. So, yeah. So if you only use powder, there isn't really a powder concealer. So I would suggest either a lighter color powder, or you'll have to get like a liquid concealer or a cream concealer. That would be 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the concealer on my brush, on my flat brush.
One of the things we get asked about, so you said concealer, and it made me think of it. When we're in advocacy, or there's a lot of people in the sickle cell community that feel the need, particularly if they're professionals, to conceal the fact that they have sickle cell. And I was just wondering, I get asked this question, and it comes up a lot about, did I ever feel a need, and did you guys ever feel a need to hide that you had sickle cell? And how did you handle that? Because we get asked that question sometimes.
I will say, when I was trying or attempting to work a traditional job, yes, I did, because that automatically threw employers off, and that made them feel that I was less qualified, or that I would be a problem employee. So yeah, there was a period in my life where I was just like, let me just not disclose that information in the beginning stages of my employment. But life happens, and you can't really hide that for too long. So now I'm like, listen, it is what it is. And I own my own business now, so it's much easier. So
yeah, I would say. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shamanika.
Oh, I was saying I've never really hid that I had sickle cell from an employer or from anyone for that reason. But like Mikaya, I haven't really worked a traditional job in years. But when I did work a traditional job, I wasn't as an educated advocate. Like, I know so much now that I feel like me disclosing it helped employers fire me in the past, because they would learn ways around how to word firing me. They would never say, oh, it's because you're sick. But like one job was like, you broke the attendance policy. Like, you went against the attendance policy. And I'm like, yeah, but y'all approved these times off and stuff. So, but now I'm like, Mikaya, I work for advocacy full time, and doing the extra advocacy I do, it's afforded me to not have to enter the traditional workforce. But I do know that is common, that especially people in the corporate level are more prone to hide it than people who's just trying to work a regular part-time or retail job or something like that. I've heard it more from professionals in corporate positions than everyday jobs. And I'm not trying to diss everyday jobs, because that's what I had, but I'm just saying that's what I've come across.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely common, and I think that makes that's another point to why advocacy is so important, is so that a lot of so that employers can understand or be more understanding when they're hiring sickle cell warriors, or even family members for that matter. Y'all, the struggle is the struggle is real. Just kind of trying to get people to understand that, you know, this is life for us, and this is not anything that we can turn on or turn off at any given point in time. So, you know, that's one of those subjects I kind of I feel a certain way talking about it, because I'm like Shamanica. I have been let go for bad attendance, you know. But I think if more employers understood what, you know, comes along with the life of a sickle cell warrior, not saying they will be more lenient, but they would just be more understanding and more willing to accommodate us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree. I remember telling when I finished my doctorate degree, you have to do postdoc.
right.
And there were several different individuals who wanted me to come work in their lab. You have to choose a research lab and to do your postdoctoral fellowship in. And I remember telling one that was recruiting me heavily that, you know, I'm sick, and it's true, I am, that I work very, very hard when I am healthy, but I cannot always guarantee health. Mm-hmm. And I just put it out just right like that. I will do phenomenal work when I am healthy. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee health. And I remember this particular person saying, no one can. And I guess that was a good point. No one really can. But I felt like I needed to disclose that in that moment because of the type of work I was about to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, before this concealer dries on my brush, let me show y'all how to apply it and further shape these brows. So I'm just going to, that first line that we created with the brow pencil.
Mine is squeeze type, so I got to go backwards a step. Mine is like a squeezy thing. Do I just squeeze it directly on the brush?
So you can squeeze it like on your hand and then just get the brush in there, because you don't want to get too much product. Like, you literally need just a little bit on the tip.
Okay, I've seen people do that. Like, they put it on their hand right here.
Yeah.
And then okay, I got you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. So I'm going just underneath that first line we created, and this is just going to help to conceal any out of place hairs. Y'all see I got a little out of place. So this is going to help us look like we just got our brows done at the salon. So, and I'm just going to start in the front and just go directly underneath that line and go all the way over.
Oh Lord, that can't be right. I'm messing up.
Just trace it with the concealer. And then once you have the concealer on, I like to just pull it down onto the lid like so.
Having the right brush really, really matters.
It does. It does.
I get that now. Oh, I get that so much. That's why so many people have so many different. Oh yeah, I got the wrong brush, y'all. Okay. Oh, don't judge me. That can't be right. That cannot be right.
Let's see.
So, Lakia, for a Secret Santa, we got to put brushes on your list.
I'm telling you. Because right now, no.
No, okay. So you're okay in the beginning. So remember how you filled it in? Remember I said on that tail end, you got to go diagonally downward. So just follow that. You're just tracing it. You're doing good, especially for a newbie. I've seen worse.
Oh, somebody's going to screenshot this. I'm going to see it on the internet.
It's okay. So I want to touch on something that you left off saying, Dr. Bailey. You were saying that you are a hard worker, and you were explaining that you work hard when you're well, and when you're not, you can't guarantee that. One thing that has been like a key in my particular sickle cell journey is that sometimes I can work too hard because because
Preach.
like I feel like, I don't know when the next time is that I'll be able to go hard like this. So at any given opportunity, whatever job I'm given, I'm like, I'm going. I'm going. And so my husband and my parents have always been like, girl, take a seat, take a chill pill. But I'm just like, nah, y'all. I really, does anybody else experience that?
Oh,
Feel that?
absolutely. 100%. And
Yeah,
then
we
not knowing,
definitely.
yeah, and then not knowing that it's time to stop. Like
Right.
recognizing that, wait, you're getting really sick. And then
Until
not
it's too
noticing,
late.
yeah, because there's like no, it's either 0 to 100. But at
Right.
some point, by the time I got to 15, I should have noticed something. And then at 35, I should have said, wait, what up? But the next time I know, I'm at 90 and it's time to
Yeah.
go to the hospital. And I
Right.
didn't even realize it. Yeah.
But I think that also speaks to the warrior in us. Like it's just kind of like ingrained because we've had to endure so much. It's like this is a special opportunity, and to even be alive and to be able to do what I'm doing, whatever it is we're missioned to do. You just kind of you got tunnel vision almost. Like you don't even see anything else until you start feeling the pain. And even when you feel the pain, it's like, all right, let me, that might go away. It might or might not. So let me just keep going.
You know what, Jessica? I'd love to hear what it looks
I
like
think
for
we
a
all.
caregiver when you watch your warrior pushing so hard and know it's time for them to stop. Maybe they don't know it. Like, what's it like from your perspective?
Oh, it's a struggle because, like you guys were explaining, that when you are in that mode and you're working, you're like, okay, I feel well enough. I feel a little bit stronger. Let me keep going. By the time we see you at a 15, we are encouraging you. Hey, I think it's time to take a break, or take a mild pain pill, and so when you get to I know the scale is 1 through 10. So when you get to an 8, like you said, Dr. Black Bailey, we won't be rushed, trying to get you to the hospital. So it is very challenging on the caregiver side, to really encourage the warrior to slow down, take a moment, breathe, take a moment, walk away. But again, it's like that. It's a rush. It's a rush in you. In the warriors, just to get it done and to get it completed, because one, you're goal driven, and like Mikaya, you said, when you don't know when the next time you're going to have that much energy to
Right.
push yourself forward. So for caregiver side, again, it's a lot of encouraging, a lot of time managing. So hey, I gave you 2 hours, walk away. And for my warrior, you really have to take everything away for her to really relax. So it's really it can be a struggle, but we love her and we want her here, so we take it. And then if the caregiver in me doesn't work, I take it up to the next sister, like, okay, I need you to put your foot down. She's not listening to me. So it is it's a you gotta balance it, because you gotta have that understanding where the warrior is coming from, but you also want that warrior to understand, as a caregiver, I can't watch you go down when you are at having a good day.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna get into this next step, but I'm gonna put a pin in that because I have a question for you, Jessica. All right. So our next step is I'm gonna get this. This is actually called a setting brush, the Real Technique setting brush. So I'm gonna take my concealer again. And the one I have has this little sponge tip applicator. But like I said, Dr. Bailey, yours has the pump, so you can just kind of dip your brush into it. Um, and so I like to just add the concealer underneath my eyes to just kind of cover those little dark areas from me not sleeping. There goes.
I do indeed.
Any other like scarring that you may have on your face that you want to cover up, I just put it there. All right. And then I take my brush and I'm just going to dab it to blend it in. So Jessica, I wanted to ask you, do you ever feel like we're being selfish? Like we're not taking into consideration how you feel when we push so hard, or not necessarily the inconveniences, but the sacrifices that you have to make when we push so hard. Like for instance, for my family, I'm a multiple business owner, so I go hard. And then of course I'm a mom of four, so I go hard for them as well. But sometimes I've heard it expressed that, I don't take it into consideration how, the entire family's schedule has to stop when I get sick, or it has to be, we got to shift things around if I have to go into the hospital. Do you ever feel like that? Yes, Dr. Bailey. Yes. Do you ever feel like we're not taking into consideration those sacrifices?
I actually haven't thought about it. Yes, and I really haven't thought about it like that. With my warrior, it's we immediately pull together. So she doesn't have kids of her own, but she does have 6 boys. So it's immediately, if she goes down, let's shift this way. Or if we see her needing that support, what can I do to help you get this done so that you can rest? Or even sometimes we have to jump in and, hey, speak to the boss. Hey, we need to sit her down for a while, for a couple of hours, X, Y, and Z. So to answer your question, to think of it in a selfish way as a warrior, I really haven't thought about it that way. It's really it's teamwork, and when you have that strong support system, it helps out with even out the tasks for the warrior. Whether you're a parent, whether it's your job, your support system, if they know, how you handle your business or what to do with your children, it's easy to kind of make that connection. Say, hey, I need to step in for Mikaya. Let me mail this. Let me ship this. Let me bag this. Or I'll pick up the kids. Or, hey, grandma's cooking dinner. She's going to bring it over so you can rest. So it's kind of like going back to that support system, having that support system with them knowing what to do next or how to assist you.
That's good.
So can I add something to that? I think that is such a fantastic question. And with your warrior specifically, I know because I work with her. And so I know exactly what you're saying. And I think it's fantastic. Y'all all pulled together. Don't show me. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I featured right now? I don't know what I'm doing. But I think that's a good question, because I think a lot of us wonder sometimes. We feel like, are we a burden? And I do. When I am pushing myself the way that I push myself, my mother told me once, she said something along the lines of that I always seem to choose the most difficult path. With my major, I chose the hardest major. With my career, I chose a difficult career. And I do wonder sometimes if I have been selfish in pushing my way the way that I have for those around me, who then find themselves in a position to needing to pause because I have pushed myself over the edge and now I'm in the hospital. And there's a balance there between the guilt and victim blaming. Because I think sometimes we do the victim blaming to ourselves and we're like, oh, it's all my fault. But I am sick because I was born, and I'm exhausted because I was born with this low hemoglobin. It's not entirely my fault, but there is a balance there. I think that question and talking to caregivers, and do they feel like we're being selfish, and to ourselves, like, am I being selfish? Yeah. Was I selfish to choose the path I've chosen, knowing what I know about my own health? Yes. The victim blaming, I see it everywhere. And the thing that has gotten me lately has been going to the hospital, and the question is, what did you do to cause this crisis? Did you get too cold? Did you push too hard? Did you? And that has begun to irritate me. I'm in the crisis because I have sickle cell. And that whole instant need to, because it frames the way we start thinking about it. Well, what did I do? Did I let myself?
I automatically question that.
Yeah.
The instant that I feel, the pain get to an unbearable state, like I automatically go there, like, oh my gosh, did I go too hard? Did I drink enough water today? Did I, you automatically go there. And then, of course, to be asked that's like additional anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's okay for us to ask ourselves those questions and try to lay out what triggered that crisis. But like Dr. Bailey said, it is very irritating when you get to the ER and the first thing the doctor says is, so what did you do to get here? And I've started saying I didn't do nothing but have sickle cell. And they're like, well, we know you have sickle cell, but what did you do? So I'll be like, well, this may have triggered this specific crisis, but that don't mean I did it purposely. I've learned to kind of correct them and my family sometimes too. I know we are kind of moving on from the subject, but I'm a warrior, I'm a mom, I'm a fiance, I'm a daughter. Like,
come on, fiance.
I do a lot to keep my household going, and like you said, with the kids, we gonna go hard. With work, we gonna go hard, and I had to stop myself from telling myself I'm a burden.
Yeah.
Because when we adopt that mentality, it's easier to sink into a depression. It's easier to push even harder. So I had to realize that I'm not a burden, and to just be grateful that I have the caregivers that I have that are willing to step up. Like, I don't know what I would do without my mama, because I don't have to worry about my child when I go to the hospital because her granny. But everyone doesn't have that. So instead of feeling bad, I started to shift it into, I should be thankful that I have the help that allows me to go to the hospital, that allows me to be sick. It's sad that we need help to be sick, so I'm just glad that I have it.
Yeah. All right, so we've got our eyebrows, we've got our concealer, or one part of our concealer anyway. So we're gonna move on to our foundation. And you can use either your Instapot face brush, which is my foundation brush, or you can use your blending sponge. And that's just kind of whatever your preference is. It doesn't matter. So either one of those. All right. So I have my foundation on my hand. And I actually use my matte foundation. You can use your powder foundation. I think Dr. Bailey's using her Fit Me. Mine is...
I have MAC.
Yep. That works.
That works.
Yes. So I'm just going to dip my brush into my foundation, and I'm just going to begin applying that.
I do think that in the midst of all this, there is a blessing that we are they that overcame. We are that group that we had to embrace ourselves. We dealt with the truth of our own mortality at a very young age, and we are they that overcame. I think about that a lot, that it has grown us in a way that a lot of people won't experience simply because we had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that, and there's an inherent strength that sort of grows out of that.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. And then on the other side, for me anyway, I feel like I have really, really, really strong moments and moments that I'm extremely low.
Yeah.
It just kind of comes with the territory. But you're right. Even in those low moments, we are just we overcome. We overcome, and I can't even explain how we muster up the strength to get past it and move on. But unless you're in the situation, you know, I can't. Like I said, I can't really explain it. I can't really give you a how. I always tell people it's the grace of God, but you know.
Yeah, I think about that with graduate school. When I look back to that, I don't have a logical explanation of how I managed to do all of that. Just you had to do it, so we did. And Shamonica, I think about that for warriors like you that have children. My sister's children are everything to me, but they're not mine. So when I don't feel good, I don't have to worry about their care. And I don't know how you two with your children and your families, you all awe me. I am literally awed by the strength that you guys show to not only live with this disease, but raising well-rounded and amazing people. That is phenomenal.
Yes, and touching on that, yeah, you do. You just do it. Like people ask me all the time, girl, how in the world do you do all that you do? And I just say, you just get it done. I can't even say it's mind over matter because you just do it. You know, you got to get done. So you just do it. But speaking about children, Shamonica, I'll ask you because you have children or have a child. But how are you educating her about sickle cell, how to be, supportive? Because it's a possibility that she could, procreate and have a child with sickle cell anemia. You can't really help who you love. But how are you educating her? Or how are you guiding her to be supportive?
Yeah, so with me, when I first had Rory, I lived in Lubbock, Texas, which is 5 hours away from Dallas, Texas. So her first year of life, it was just me and her dad. And I knew then that I had to make sure I taught my baby the importance of my illness, and that she needed to know everything that I know about my illness, and that I had to be 100% honest with her when I'm not feeling well or if I can't do something. And that has made life easier for me, because if you meet Rory now, Rory knows all about sickle cell. She knows that she has the trait. She's 9. She knows that she has the trait. She knows if she meet a person, she should ask if they have the trait or not. And she has learned to not take it personal if I say, oh, mommy can't do that because I don't feel good. Instead, she becomes concerned or want to help. And I think that's because I have included that in her life since she was a baby.
Do you feel like she is ever afraid for you? I know my kids, I've experienced, pretty rough crisis. And after the fact, after the storm blows over, after the crisis, my oldest has come to me before. She was like, Mommy, I was really scared for you. I was really, really, really concerned. And that particular instance, it broke my heart because I was like, oh my gosh, my child was afraid that she might lose her mom, the worst. And so, I'm still learning and still navigating those waters, but it's good to talk to another mom. How are you navigating that?
So when Rory was smaller, she would know when we were on our way to the hospital, and she would cry because she knew that, oh, my mama probably not going to be home for a little while. But now she hasn't shared that anything has scared her or anything. I'm grateful that a lot of my serious complications either happened when she was small and really couldn't understand. So not to my best of my knowledge, I haven't given her a scare yet. But I'm sure, like, if my health continues the way it is and stuff comes up, I'm sure we'll cross that bridge eventually. But right now with her, she's never said that when I get sick, it scares her. But I know when she was a toddler and smaller, she would cry when I had to go to the hospital. But now that she's older and has seen what it looks like when I push through a crisis to be present, she really would prefer me to just go to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could put a shameless plug
May I
in
chime
here.
in on that?
Yes.
So for my warrior, she has an auntie baby. She has six of them, no, seven, eight. She has a lot of them, but there's one in particular that's her baby. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not her baby, but that's her baby. And whenever her crisis strike, or whenever she's at a point where she may have to go to ER, or she's in her room and she's having her rocking crying moment, her baby, her auntie baby, immediately he's crying along with
Oh
her,
goodness.
because um he gets very nervous, and he doesn't want, and he would voice it. I don't want anything to happen to my Aunt Brenda, but his mom and his auntie, which is the auntie baby, they have those talks with him. Let's say, okay, well, this is what's happening to my body. This is why I'm hurting so bad. So, and then he goes into caretaker mode when he knows that it's raining or the rain is going to come. He's like, auntie, you need to take your pain medicine and you need to rest. Or what do you need? You need to drink more water. Or say if she's very nauseous, he becomes that caretaker because he has been taught, and he's seen, and he's very attentive to know what she's need, what is in need. But those moments where she has to go to the hospital or be rushed to the hospital support, he becomes that auntie baby, and he's the one who's crying. I mean, like crying, like
Mm-hmm.
really crying, because he doesn't want anything to happen to auntie. So
Yeah.
even though my warrior has not had a child, she experienced that a lot. But through, like Shamonica was saying, that keeping that line of communication open and letting that child know and understand, whether it comes from the warrior or your support system, having that understanding of what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely key and important to keep that line of communication open.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
I was going to toss in there a little shameless plug because the Sickle Cell Consortium has a children's track.
Okay.
And part of that track is education specifically for sickle cell disease. And we teach the children and the caregiver children all about it. So Shamonica's daughter, and I know who Auntie's baby is. Everybody knows who's Auntie's baby. And Auntie's baby have been in there, and the things they've learned, and I do too. I don't have any children, but I have two nieces, two nephews, and I have my baby. And
Mhm.
I've been astonished by what they know and what they learn. And they pick it up and they understand. We have to give them a chance, but they pick up so much. And my nephew, back when I used to be on oxygen, he came to me one morning, that on the morning that I forgot to wear my oxygen that night. And he had asked me before, what are my settings and what do I do? And he was 4 or 5 years old at the time. And he said, don't forget your oxygen, TT. 2 liters. I don't want to see that again.
Oh.
And I was shocked because he was fussing at me for not wearing my oxygen. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Yeah, they definitely know how to go into caregiver mode real quick and give you the business.
So what's going on now?
Yes, so I'm trying to move us along, but so I have my highlighter. It's still a concealer, but it's just a shade lighter. And that's why I said that 1 to 2 shades lighter. So it's a shade lighter than my foundation. So I'm just applying it in a triangle form underneath my eyes, here on my forehead, down the center of my nose, and my chin. So this is called, I know you probably heard the term highlight and contour and highlight. So this is the highlighting portion of that. makeup application techniques. So I've applied that in those different areas, and I'm taking that same setting brush, and I'm just going to blend that. And you know what? I will say, makeup for me has been kind of like therapy, kind of like my zen. And that's really what kind of got me through some rough times. After I had my twins, I think I suffered from severe postpartum depression, and makeup was just kind of my release. And even to this day, when I'm not feeling well, that's one of the things that I will do. You know, people think it's a little bit crazy, but that's what kind of helps me get my mind off of my current situation. So I'm using this domed fluffy brush. It's very similar to the brush that we were using to blend the concealer. But you can totally use an angled brush, similar to what Jessica has. Jessica, if you'll hold your brush up for me. Yep, just like that. You can use something angled like that if you don't have this one. Shamanica, that one will work as well. Perfect. All right, so I am going in with the contour color here to my left, or my right, I'm sorry. And I'm just gonna get a little bit on the brush, just that much. I'm gonna suck my cheeks in like a fish, like that. And I'm going right there, okay? But I'm gonna start closer towards the top, or kind of like the middle of my ear, and then blend it downward, okay? Like so. So you can see that. And then once you have the color on, you want to just blend it upward. So you're kind of like pushing the color up into your cheekbone so that it blends with everything else. So this is powder contour, so it's a little bit more lightweight, natural. If I'm trying to be beat down, I use my cream contour and then powder on top of it. But like I said, y'all, this is my everyday warrior face. Come on, Dr. Bailey, with the contour. I see you. Let me see, Jessica. I see it coming through. I see. Come on, Shamanica. She wins. She wins. Come. Now to this nose contour part. So we did the highlight down the center of the nose. And so the contour is going to go on both sides of where we put that highlight. All right. And so I just use this small, it's actually an eyeshadow brush, but it's a small fluffy brush that I use. And I'm just getting a little bit of that contour powder on here. And I like to start right here, like in the eye socket portion of my nose. So I'll just dab it like so. And when I start to see the color pay off, that is when I'll start blending. And I'm just going down and up, down and up. And I'm just kind of blending that into my eye socket so that it's a natural progression. It's not anything harsh. Okay. All right, so before we move on to the highlighter or the bronzer, I'm just going to add a tad bit of blush. You can skip this step. Some people like blush, some people don't. I like a little flush of color, so I'm just going to add just a little bit. And that's my blush right there. So it's just a really pale pink. And so I smile and I kind of find the round part of my cheek and just tap it on. And once I start to see it show up, I'll blend it upward. The reason why you blend it upward is because you don't want to look clownish concentrating that blush color right there. You want it to all blend in together. All right, so I got a little my eyeliner, and I'm just gonna do that inside my waterline like so. I'm not gonna go below it because I want it to still be natural. I'm just going on the inside. So I went on the inside as opposed to down here. All right, do the same thing. And I'm just gonna take my finger and rub it across there to just kind of blend it and soften it. It's not too harsh. Just add just a little bit of definition to my eyes because we getting ready to pop on some lashes. I'm excited. That's my favorite part. Can you tell? All right, so I'm gonna pop these lashes on. And these are like a little dramatic, not too dramatic. They're not like 70 millimeter spider lashes, but they're just a little natural glam, you know. So yeah, just something to add a little pop.
Okay, now I said that, Mikaya is one of my sources of inspiration on my Facebook timeline. I love seeing all of her accomplishments and not just her, but her whole family. Like I love to see it, and I always love her posts and comments because it feels good to see other people with sickle cell, other women with sickle cell doing great things, even if it's not sickle cell advocacy. And I'm just grateful that I have so many women like you that I can get motivation and inspiration from.
Oh, that means so much, Shamanica. Like one of my goals actually is to establish, and I'm actually working on it now, establish sickle cell advocacy network here in my city. And so the help of the funds that I'm making from Mary Kay is helping to build that. So I'm just like, very, very, very excited to be able to accomplish some of the things that I've accomplished with Mary Kay, but it's a whole nother goal in the works. So yeah, but it definitely does help to have inspiration. You inspire me with all of the things that you've been doing, just kind of spreading the awareness, the advocacy, the education, all of that. Like we need it nationwide and throughout the world. Absolutely. So thank you, girl. We just bounce the inspiration back and forth. So I'm just going to take my mascara and I'm going to apply it to the bottom. I don't have a whole lot of lashes, so you may not be able to see. I'm just applying it to the bottom. And then I'm going to apply it to the top and just blend my lashes with the falsies. I think it's so funny when we put on mascara, we always go like this. I have to open your mouth. All right, so now it's time for our lips. And so I'm going to be using my Piro Mertillo is what it's called, lip color from Mary Kay, and then a random burgundy liner.
You gotta get in a good light and take a picture, then you'll be like, okay, okay, Lakia, you did that. Oh, you cute, Mikaya.
Gorgeous.
Thank you, ladies. Look amazing. Yes, Jessica, come on through. Shamanica. We're gonna have to take us some pictures. Luscious lips. I love it.
I think that's a great idea, Dr. Bailey.
Okay. Yes, Jessica. Lashes popping, glow popping, lips popping. Yes, honey. I love it. This was so fun.
I like yours. It's cute. Like your full base and all.
I think it's important. I'm a different kind of nerd. I'm all in the books and science and molecular hematology, but this is important. This is, it engages the community and it boosts the self-esteem.
Yes.
And one of the things we really want to do at the consortium is promote this and promote awesome warriors like you. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. And I think, I've been connected with the consortium maybe a year or two now. So I've been watching, definitely been connecting with Shamanica over the last couple of years. And so I'm a warrior myself. And so I understand the needs and the disparities of our community like nobody else understands it. So it's definitely near and dear to my heart. And I see, where we need to move. I see where we need to improve. And I am really, I'm all in. I really am all in. I want this needle of awareness, the needle of education, the needle of advocacy to move forward. We really do need to embrace the importance and the priority of educating our community about sickle cell awareness, because I think, if the masses are educated and they understand, our quality of life automatically improves. So this is so important. And anything you need from me, I'm here and I'm all in. So thank you so much for having me be a part. All right. Y'all look amazing. Oh my God, Jessica. Let's see this final look, girlfriend. I'm so excited. Y'all did an amazing job. Ooh, yes, come on, glow. Lips,
yes.
Brows, lashes, yes. Everything popping. Beautiful, Jessica. Beautiful job. OMG. Yes, let's see it, Shamanica. Let's see it. Look at that. Warrior lips on fleek, brows on fleek, the contour, honey, the cheekbones. I live for it all. You are rocking it. All right. Let's take a look at the final, the last look for Dr. Lakia Bailey. Let's see what you're looking like. Oh, yes. Glow, give us face, honey. Yes, you did that, especially to be a newbie. I think you did an amazing job. Beautiful.
Brand new. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. Well, I am just so grateful for this opportunity. I want to thank Dr. Bailey for the opportunity to encourage and empower and do something fun and actually facilitate this conversation of advocacy for our sickle cell warriors and caregivers. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys tune in. Prayerfully, you're going to tune in to the convention. So I'm excited about that. I want to share with you how you can get in touch with me if you love what you saw and you want to connect with me. I am on Instagram. My handle is at Mikaya Dion. It's spelled just the way my name is titled there. So that's Instagram. On Facebook, I am at Mikaya Dion Enterprises, as well as my personal page. This is my personal page, y'all. Mikaya Warren. I love to connect with all of my sickle cell warriors and caregivers. I'm here for you. All about empowerment, all about encouragement and inspiration. To keep us moving forward. So before I leave, before I say goodbye, once again, I want to just say thank you to the Sickle Cell Consortium for having me. And I want to just remind all of our warriors and caregivers to embrace what we have been given. A lot of times we like to question, why me? But think of it as, why not you? You have a special mantle to carry. Most times when we are in the middle of our crisis, there's somebody that needs to see your strength. There's somebody that needs to see that there's purpose on the other side of struggle. And you may be that only example for them. So allow your life to be a living testimony of what purpose looks like, of what overcoming struggles looks like, because you are an overcomer. And I'm so happy that you're here. Your life has meaning. And I want you to live it to the fullest, regardless of what circumstances you face. I know so well that it's hard. I know that it gets difficult, but you have something very special inside of you that the world needs. So I just want to encourage you to keep pushing, keep striving for greatness, and be great. Thank you again.